This is John Walton, and you're listening to the Power Play Point podcast with the Blue Liner on point and Anna Knox. Here's Wilson, and on the right circle, he scores!
Rebound loose, wild scramble in front, score! Ovechkin with a buzzer beater! It'll count!
And the hat trick tonight, number 21,
Spectacular! Braden Holtby!
Hello, welcome everybody, and Merry Christmas. If that's when you're hearing this. Hello, Caps fans. This is the Blue Liner on point. Talking to you live to tape from my humble abode in downtown Glen Burnie, Maryland. And it is not only beginning to look, well, I don't know if it's beginning to look like Christmas. It doesn't even feel like Christmas. Temperatures in the high 20s tonight. Brr. Yeah, not liking the cold, but feeling it nonetheless. Tell you who's not cold is our Caps. That's who we're going to talk about in the We this week. Features the return of the mermaid, Anna Knox. Anna, how you doing?
Doing great because I'm on break.
Oh, yeah, me too. Me too. For the next 2 weeks.
Great feeling. Great feeling. Do you exchange gifts at school and stuff?
Not really.
Okay.
It's not that's frowned upon, but we don't really do Secret Santa or anything like that in our department. We're definitely a part of the school. You know, everybody knows who we are, but we're kind of left on our own, if that makes any sense.
Gotcha. It does. It does.
So actually, our boss gave us a nice gift. He let us go about an hour and a half early
Oh,
on
sweet.
Friday. So yeah, he said, "Yeah, just go home. I'll cover the rest of the shift. Just go home."
Okay.
So
I'll
yeah,
have to twist
that
my
was
arm on that one.
exactly. Yeah, didn't have to tell me twice. Yeah, nothing too fancy. I wore my I wore my bipolar hat.
I don't know what
And,
that is.
oh well, it was my Santa hat, and one side said naughty, and the other side said nice.
Ah, which way did
And
you wear it?
well, I had one on one side and one on the other, so I guess I was kind of Christmas version of Two-Face, I guess.
Okay.
So,
I approve. Yeah, I didn't get. I don't know. Ours was God. We literally kicked off our last day with 600 kids doing a sing along. Yeah.
yeah, there was a roving Christmas carol. The one of the foreign language classes had like a rolling Christmas carol going on to all over the campus. That was kind of neat to watch.
Yeah, no, ours was. I was. I will say it was better this year than it has been in previous years because I guess they have learned to not scream the carols. So we were like take it down a notch, but yeah, it was good. It was good, but I will say so. I had one awkward Christmas gift
Oh
exchange.
no.
Yeah. So every year, I've been doing this for God, 18 years or something. The office has us fill out a form that's like, oh, what's your favorite color and what's your favorite coffee? And I always say I don't drink coffee. What's your favorite, and I'll be like, I like, Coke Zero. But please, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink coffee. Like, I don't know how many times I can say it. And then be like, what's your favorite chocolate? And I'm like, I don't have a sweet tooth. Like, I'm all about the salty. And I put this on there. And every year, like this year, I have $60 in Starbucks cards, which is fine because I know that they have other stuff. But I just think it's funny that, like, okay, maybe I should say I love coffee, then maybe I'll get Coke Zeros or something. But so I usually get Starbucks cards or, Amazon cards. And I'm very, very, very appreciative. Like I truly, like, I don't need anything. I don't need any mugs. I don't need anything like that. But I walked in and there was this bag, that like a little gift bag that was sitting on my laptop. I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't see the student's name because it was so small. So I opened it and it was from Victoria's Secret.
Okay.
So one of my sixth grade boys that I've been working with the last 2 years got me a perfume from Victoria's Secret, and it is called Tease Heartbreaker.
Wow.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, but I will say it actually smells really awesome. But I didn't know what to say. And then when he came up to me later, and he's like a really big kid. I mean, he's like over 6 feet for being in the sixth grade. And he's like, Mrs. Knox, did you get my gift? I did. I did. Thank you so much for thinking of me. And then I realized when I walked away, I was like, ew, like, were you in Victoria's Secret thinking about me? Because I just made that super weird. Like, please tell me your mom got this. And that's even weird. Like, what's your mom doing thinking about buying teachers gifts in Victoria's Secret? Like, I just need to not. Thank you. I hope you have a happy and healthy holiday. But yeah, so I wound up being, kind of the joke of the team, the sixth grade team and stuff, because they're like, seriously? He's heartbreak. I had to share. I was like, come on.
So I was going to say, so the rest of your group saw that and okay.
Well, they were just like, wait, what? Because I sent a picture of it, and I'm like, "You're any guesses on who this little gem is from?" And they just burst out laughing, and they're like, "No, seriously, like who would give you that? Like what is going on?" And I was like, "Well, it's a sixth grade boy," and they're like, "Shut up, a student?" And I was like, "Well, it would be weird if it was like his dad," but I was like, "But it's even weird that I think it might be from his mom." But the whole thing's weird. I don't know what to do. I'll take a Starbucks card. Yeah.
You would have rather a Starbucks card than that?
Well, and everybody was like, please tell me somebody was there when you opened this. And I said, no, I opened it by myself because it was sitting on my laptop and I walked into my room. And they're like, fuck, like I wish I could have seen your face. And I was like, oh yeah. And then when the student, was like, did you get my gift? Did you like it? Yeah. Did you get? And I was like, yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate you thinking of me while you're in Victoria's Secret. I can't win. So yeah, just sit on that for, because even Ian was like, that's so wildly inappropriate. And I was like, I know. I said, and here's this, 12-year-old, 6 foot something boy I've been working with for 2 years, who gives me Tease Heartbreaker perfume.
I don't know what I
What?
can say to that other than wow.
I know.
I not just something from Victoria's Secret,
Right.
something called Tease
Tease
Heartbreaker.
It does smell really nice though. Like, because I don't like,
good God.
I think we've talked about, well, maybe we haven't talked about this. I don't know why this would ever come up in our podcast in the last 7 or 8 years that we've been doing this. Like, I don't like food scented things like candles or body sprays. So, like, I when people are like, oh, I love the smell of vanilla. I'm like, I don't. I don't like food scented stuff, so this perfume thankfully is not food scented, but then I'm like, oh my god, even that would be weird. But everything is just, so yeah, I have this bottle, and it's like a hot pink top. Oh, Gil. I know.
I
So,
knew.
so Merry Christmas to me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Merry
keep going
freaking
with that
Christmas.
because that was me Friday when I like here I am looking down at um Target and Starbucks cards, and I'm writing out thank you notes to my students. I'm like, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to see them for 2 weeks. And then I'm like, how do I write this? Like, so I just made it very generic. Thank you for this perfume. I hope you have an amazing holiday. See you in 2025. Don't think of me in Victoria's Secret. I should have signed it T's Heartbreaker, but I didn't. That would have been great.
You should have.
I know.
Just
I know. Anywho, so that was my Friday. And the joke of, I mean, my teammates are amazing. So, like, we could all laugh at this once they figured out who it was. They're like, holy shit. Awkward. I was like, it's totally awkward. But yeah, so, but now we're on break and we have one really good Caps game to talk about out of 3. And yay.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
did have a Bloody Mary yesterday at Cooper's Hawk with Stephanie. So that was how we kicked off break.
I finally found Stephanie's picture. And
Oh, good.
yeah, I tell you what, I've seen a Bloody Mary before. I'm not all that fond of the ones that have the gigantic celery stalk protruding out of it.
Yeah.
But I've seen those before, and I've always in the back of my head, I'm always like, well, what would one of those taste like?
Oh, they're so good.
Uh, so yeah,
Well,
I'm still
I
up.
had
I'm
one.
still up for that.
Yeah, I had one. She had 3. So that tells you I was driving, but she had 3. So and so she was in a good place when we left.
I well, I yeah, okay. So all I'm gonna say about that is I've met Stephanie once
Yes.
in person, and
Hmm.
I guess that doesn't surprise me, but I'm
Oh no.
trying to picture her after.
Well, I was thanked numerous times for driving, and a couple other moments, but no, she's great, and she's actually um, we talked about because I turned the big 50 in March. Ugh. And I think we're going to go to the seats that we had, like when I saw you and Robbie there. We had those really great seats on the end because that's where I like to sit. I think we're gonna do that again, but I'll keep you posted if we think we can all get together. I want to say it's the Ottawa game on March 22nd. I think it's a Saturday at 5.
Hold on, let me apps being all wonky on me. March 22nd. Okay, so that game is actually Florida. There is a 5 o'clock game, but it's against Florida
Oh, okay. I
at
couldn't remember.
home.
Yeah, so we maybe in the new year we can plug that if people are around.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'm going to one. I'm going to the game 2 weeks before that, Friday the 7th, um, against Detroit.
mhm.
I'll definitely be there because that's the bobblehead that Jenny desperately wanted. Mrs. Blueliner desperately wanted Ovi and Backy. So
Oh, cool.
we're definitely going to be there.
Good.
Um, and we're also going to be even sooner than that. We're also going to be at the teddy bear toss game in
Oh,
Hershey.
fun.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna. I am going to try and capture a video of the moment that happens when they score the goal and it's raining teddy bears. So
Oh, and it
I'm going
just
to
goes nuts.
try and capture that insanity when that happens. So that
That's
should
so
be fun.
cool. Definitely, definitely. All right. Well, I'm sorry that this took up a lot of our. Um, why are you
Yeah,
sending me stuff for Christmas, Bill?
what?
Why are you sending me something for Christmas?
What do you mean? Did the UPS guy finally show up?
Well, it just came up on my phone.
Oh, he wasn't supposed to show up on your phone.
This and well, thank you. Because now that it's totally awkward that I got you the same exact thing. But anywho,
Well,
it's
I
fine.
I
I
didn't want to
appreciate
get
it.
you. I didn't want to get you the same thing I got you last year, and I couldn't. My brain has been in a fog this whole week. Uh,
Well,
thank God we're coming up on break because yeah. Um, so I just that's I mean that I yeah.
it's perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Um,
These heartbreakers. I can't. I just
that's
can't.
that's hilarious.
It just and then when I looked at it, I was like, oh, the irony of like how I'm so not. But when it comes from a 12-year-old boy, I'm like, what does that even mean? Let's just hope he didn't again, maybe his mom got it and he didn't even he wasn't even involved, but he was definitely like, did you get my gift?
Oh,
Yes. Awkward. Those are those
I
awkward teaching moments where you're just like, I and then we also had like to top it off, I and then I'm gonna shut up about school. We also had family life education.
oh
We
no.
had- yeah. So for 2 days, um I had to sit in with all the boys. That was fun. Because they all just it's for the teachers like we have bets on how fast the hoods on the sweatshirts go up or the jackets get zipped because they just wish the earth would suck them up at that moment because you're talking about anatomy and then you're talking about babies and then you're talking about women's anatomy and they're all wishing they could just disappear, and it's hilarious because it starts off with like, yeah, I'm so cool," and then as soon as you say a word, they're like, "Oh my god, hood up, you know, zip, and
Let me
please
crawl
don't
into
call
a
me."
hole.
What's that?
I was gonna say, let me crawl into a hole because
Oh,
yeah, that's
totally.
yeah.
So,
When we finally had that class in sixth grade when I was in school, yeah, that's trust me, as a bunch of us were like the talk tough, but as soon as we got sat down and got all the scientific terms,
oh yeah, oh
yeah,
yeah,
every one of us, yeah.
and yeah, and then everyone gets an index card. So if they want to ask a question, they can, and that's usually our best days when we get some of the questions because we're like, what, what what are you asking? And it's like, it's and sometimes the question is like, why do Mrs. So and so and Mrs. Knox have to teach this class? Like, why can't we have, a guy? And I was like, trust me, it's just as awkward for us, but because then like we have to talk about it and then you have to see them. Like it's like, all right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. And they're like, "Ugh, for the love of God, we just sort of listened to you for like 1 hour talk about anatomy, and now I have to look you in the eye and ask you for help on math." Like, this is so weird. But yeah, some of the questions, and I won't share the questions because they're so not
Oh,
appropriate.
I'll share one that I remember.
Okay.
The joke answer that was given. How fast does spermatozoa travel?
Oh, mm,
And you know what the instructor answered? Know what he said?
tell me.
Not faster than 55 miles an hour.
Nice.
True story.
Uh, do you want to know one of the questions we were asked?
No, I don't. I
Okay.
maybe we'll tack it on as an Easter egg if everybody listening survives that long. But yeah, not right now.
All good.
Um,
And I'm also
probably,
like,
probably
yeah, I'm like, I probably need a couple cocktails to make it because there are
yeah,
two questions that I'm like, what in the ever
yeah,
loving are you asking? But anywho, let's
yeah.
start talking about that Dallas game.
Let's get onto the hockey. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of WTFing going on with with all the listeners. Okay, so as Anna mentioned, there were 3 games played. Caps only won one of them. Now, yes, they saved the best for last, so we're going to save the best for last. And not just because of the chronological order, but first game that was played in the week was the 16th. It was a Monday. It was a watch along with Sports on the Hill. Programming note: Sports on the Hill will be taking a 2-week hiatus as Robbie is on vacay to the Cayman Islands. So he's taking his annual winter break. So no Sports on the Hill this week and next. At the very least, I think it's the Monday after that they are returning. But yeah, we did the watch along. Unfortunately, the Mermaid was feeling under the weather.
It was, yeah, that was
Oh,
awful. Yeah.
that wasn't fun. So it was just me. I think C4 was there and Robbie, of course. We wanted Janaea to be there. I was kind of hoping Davey is eating a sandwich from Twitch would be there, but it was just, I think it was just the 3 of us. Yeah, it was. So we were watching along, and yeah, kind of well, it started okay. It started pretty good. First period, 15:39. Dylan Strome tips in a shot from Jacob Chikrin with a great shot towards the net. Radish sets up the play, and Dylan Strome in front of the net to tap it in, gives the Caps a 1-0 lead. And I thought, okay, well, for once, the Caps are playing great against Dallas. And then the second period came. Yeah, Caps couldn't stay out of the box again. Although, well, let me double check here. How many power play chances did we give the Stars?
2.
2,
1 of
only
2.
2. Only 2, but the Stars only needed one of them to be dangerous. And yeah, and appropriately, is probably the most appropriate name for where his team is. Rupe Hintz, a guy who plays for Dallas named Rupe.
Yeah.
Go figure. He gets the power play marker at 13:28 in the second to tie the game. Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnston on the assist on that one. Just a matter of time there. And then 4 minutes later at 17:35, Leon Bixel, it's a big guy, knocks in his second. Jason Robertson and Maverick Bork, the assist on that one. And that would be the game winner. Stars had never looked back. Caps tried to battle. Unfortunately, John Carlson, as sometimes what he does, makes a pass that he probably shouldn't have to nobody. And I mean nobody, because nobody was there when he passed it. Rope Hintz again, this time his 13th. Jason Robertson on the assist, and that pretty much iced it. This was at 14:58 of the third period, and yeah, Caps were pretty much done by then. Could start to see the effects of the travel. Speaking of which, apparently after this game, and this has something to do with the next game and the performance thereof, but the intended plan of travel was to leave on a jet plane, to Chicago later that night after the game. Something went wrong with that plane. They did not take off. They did not get to leave Dallas until the next morning. And they didn't get to Chicago until about lunchtime the next day. And okay, so here it is. It's a statement of fact to say it was a factor in how the Caps played, because I get it. Your schedule is thrown off. Case in point, this week I had a guy who was supposed to come in one morning to fix one of our printers that decided to go wonky when all 30 of our teachers decided to print Christmas cards on using the printers. but that's okay.
Okay.
But one of them, the main one for our middle school teachers, decided to break down. Guy was supposed to come in the morning. He doesn't come in until 5 minutes before lunch. So yeah, I know what it's like when your schedule gets thrown off. That said, you don't use it as an excuse. Like, oh, this is the reason why we sucked in this game.
Right.
And they did suck in the next game.
Oh, they totally sucked.
So let's not make any bones about it. But what do you think of the Dallas game? I know you were probably either head in a steam bowl or puking up a bucket or something. But
Not
did,
puking. You know what it was? It was an awful, awful sore throat. Like, like, God.
so
So,
if you had actually made it on Sports on the Hill, you probably would have sounded like this, and we would have wondered if you had any sort of
yeah, it was. It
something
was
like that.
not. It was not pretty, and it was just. It was like just raw, like ugh. So yeah, I felt like crap. I like all day Sunday, and it was just like, meh. And then I and then school, and I was like, there's just no way. But no, thankfully it wasn't a puke fest, because that would have, I hate throwing up. But no, you know what, I watched this game, and I didn't think that they were going to pull it off. I really didn't. I think I was more pissed about the Chicago game than I was the
Mhm.
Dallas game. Um, but it just didn't, they just looked meh. It wasn't 60 minutes. I know we say that ad nauseum, and it sure as hell wasn't 60 minutes in Chicago. Well, but I agree with you. Like, so they got delayed. They're still on like on an airplane. That they could still relax on an airplane, and they didn't have to suddenly like walk to Chicago. It's like, listen,
Yeah.
so your plane was delayed, so you still can get into a good mindset. Yes, it sucks that you didn't get there till noon, but you're playing at like 8:30, right? Wasn't it like an 8:30 game, or is that the Dallas
Mhm.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so
no,
it's
it was
it's
8:30. They're
like,
really weird. They're really weird in Chicago. They're
yeah, I
all
don't
their games have
understand.
to start a little bit later for some weird reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. So I agree with you. Like, I saw the excuse. Like you said, some people gave excuses. Some people were just like, "Hey, their flight was delayed and whatever." Well, their flight wasn't delayed; that they landed at 7 and they had to go straight from the plane to the rink. It's like, okay, this is one hiccup in how many games they've played so far. It's like, so sometimes you just have to put on your big boy pants and play 60 minutes and shut the hell up, because you're flying home that night. Um, so yeah, I was a little irked. I was irked because it was like we had it, 2-0, and then
Yeah.
they just stopped. And our
Well,
power
I'm
play sucks.
yeah, I get it. I get it. And I'm really look, I'm really I all everything in consideration here. It's good that you took care of yourself and decided not to come on and get yourself some rest, because otherwise you'd have been like, I'm irked at you guys. I can't believe you lost the fucking lead in the game, you people.
Yeah, I would have sounded kind of like that,
So
I guess.
I'm sorry. I've been there. I shouldn't laugh, but
No, you
I
laugh all you want.
well,
It was not sounding good.
feeling a little bit Santa-ish, so I got some ho 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 in me.
Oh yeah, you do.
Um, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So to recap the actual game, as Anna said, yes, it looked good. Again, it looked good at first.
Mhm.
Pierre-Luc Dubois opened the scoring, 416 in the first, his fifth of the year, unassisted. Um, so let's call up the video and hope that the app is cooperative. Um, after it finishes playing look, the inappropriate ad for a summer cruise. Um, Got to make money somehow. Oh, it's the Norwegian cruise line, the official cruise sponsor of the NHL. How nice.
Mm.
Okay, so all right, so the Blackhawks had a strike And okay, so Wilson tries to clear the zone, can't. Oh yes, I remember this play now. So after the Chicago defender picked off Wilson's pass, Dubois picked him off and then turned around, went for the goal, and made a nice move to get it past. Was it? I can't see the name. Sunderblad, I think his name is. Trying to get this. Soderblom. That sounds like a a Swedish orange drink that has been left out in the sun too long.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a weird thing.
anyway, he got it past that goal. Did Dubois for the quick 1-0 lead? And all right, yes, great response from the loss. Let's keep it going, and they did, or they tried to. About almost exactly 9 minutes later, 13-18, Andrew Mangiapane, Lars Eller, and Jacob Vrana, who had made his way back to the lineup, with the assists on that one. 2-0 Caps. So that was Mangiapane's 7th. So we're all eating bread because that's what his name means. No scoring in the second. And then what should happen? The worst. And this literally was a double whammy, because Chicago would get a goal while the Caps would be on the power play. Yes, that's called a shorthanded goal. And when did they get it? 51 seconds into the next period. It's usually the Caps pulling that on the other team.
Right.
But I always say you get a goal in the last minute or the first minute of any period, that is a kick in the old gonads that you almost never recover from. And the same goes for a shorthanded goal. Well, yeah, it's one of those cases where the other team got both in one play. Yeah, so Tuvo Teravainen, because he couldn't get through the jungle, was on the assist on that one. So it was 2-1 Caps, so still holding out hope. You could start to see that there was a little bit of slowing down by the Caps because they were running out of gas and had no speed. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you know what? What else happened? What else happened in this game? I'm trying to think. Wasn't this the game? Where's that summary? I'm looking at the list of penalties. Oh, yeah. Okay, I tell a lie. The second period. Not one, but two, and back to back. Too many men on the ice.
Yeah, that I don't understand. One time I don't understand. The second time is like, what the fuck?
How are you not able to count to 6?
Yeah.
I mean, even Nick Dowd, I read his lips. Even Nick Dowd was like, what the F?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you... So the Caps actually spent a good chunk, at least 6 minutes on the shorthand. I'm surprised they didn't give up that goal then. But yeah, it's like 3 penalties in a row and back-to-back bench minors for too many men on the ice. How the living F-hole does that happen? That'd be like if you took attendance and you noticed somebody was absent but didn't mark it, and then did the same thing for like a week straight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where were you? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
How does that happen?
Back to back. That's the yeah. Fucking A.
I don't get it. I don't get that. It's just it did one big giant brain fart by the whole team.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yep.
within minutes of each other.
Mhm.
I don't know. That was just that only made it worse.
Oh, absolutely.
With the end result. On with the scoring. So 14:07 in the second. Mikheyev would be involved again. Him and that guy Teravainen assisted TJ Brody with his second to tie the game at 14:07. Like, oh my God, this, and okay, so they're playing a second to the last, third to the last in the whole freaking league,
I don't
and
know what
they
it is
managed.
about Dallas. I
Well,
don't.
this was Chicago.
Sorry. I don't know why I was just all of a sudden I
The
was just
brain fog
thinking
is spreading.
that it is. It is contagious. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know what it is about Stars. I don't know what the hell it was about. Just the Caps just weren't into it. I don't care.
They weren't
Yes,
all there.
no. No.
Way, way, way too many mental mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's really what did them in. And then 3.5 minutes later, or more, Ryan Donato got the game winner at 17:42. Murphy and Teravainen again. Good God, when did he not do anything?
Right.
I'm looking at the vitals here. 61.4 at the dot. So they got the puck. They just didn't know what to do with it, apparently.
Yeah.
No takeaways the whole game, so they weren't as active on the puck. So that's one clue right there. So that their forecheckers were not as effective. That's been a hallmark of their game. Well, they weren't clicking this game. That's for damn sure. No takeaways. Surprisingly, they had the most shots on goal. I think desperation mode, the aha light bulb finally turned on after that third goal, and they really started to turn it up. They got 11 shots on goal, which was half of what they would get for the game in that one period alone. Only
Too
5
late,
in the
though.
first. Yeah, way too late.
Way too
Not
late.
really too little, but way too late. 5 in the first period, 6 in the second period. Just not enough, and they were just, and again, not an excuse, but yeah, your schedule's thrown off. You got to deal. Somehow you got to deal. It's not an excuse. It happened. You deal with it. Well, I guess they tried, but just not the result. But trust me, I was in all kinds of a pissed off mood when you are riding high near the top of the standings table and you lose to a team that's almost at the exact opposite end. And what has been one of the complaints, don't play down to your opposition.
Right.
Well, yeah, I don't have to say it because that's what happened. But yeah, just too many mental mistakes, too much time before they got into the game, and I guess ran out of gas. Not enough energy, didn't muster enough energy until it was just too late to do anything about it, make any difference. So there you go.
Disappointing. But let's talk about better stuff.
Yeah. Look, if you out there on the other side of the earbuds and speakers, what have you, were like, oh, the sky is falling, the other shoes finally dropped. No. It has not. Yes, it's another back-to-back loss. Yes, the other one was against a egg dog sucking blind squirrel finds a nut team. I get that. But it's not the end of the world. It's not they've hit the wall. No, it's too many bad circumstances, too much everything bad just finally caught up to them. Too many bad habits in too short a time caught up to them is what I would chalk it up to. I am no expert. I've only been watching hockey games for 47 out of 50 years. but that's just me. So I don't proclaim to be an expert. I just play one on a podcast. Anyway, as Anna kindly suggested, let us move on to something good. And the something good would be when the Caps finally came home to the friendly confines of Cap 1 this past Friday, the 20th, to host the Carolina Hurricanes. So we're going to do a deeper dive into this one. And this was more like Caps hockey when they have to do a full 60-minute effort, when they have to play like every minute counts, when they have to play like it's a vital win. It wasn't that kind of a game, but it was a division rival that is right up against them in the standings. It was a team they had to beat, and it was something of a statement game to at least respond. I never want to say I would have been okay with a loss, but if at least they'd have shown up and gave the effort we know they can, instead of, oh, fall behind, oh, we'll catch up. Right. Oh, we'll jump it ahead. Oh, fall behind again, catch up. No, I didn't want to see any catch up, not even on the fries I had for lunch the next day. So I didn't want any of that. Just wanted a regular, good 60-minute effort. I think we finally got that here.
Absolutely.
So we go over the scoring real quick. Okay, who opened the scoring?
Yay!
The man who has been hot these past, I want to say 3-4 weeks.
Yep.
Alexei Protas. Feel the thunder. Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. His 12th of the year. Mangiapane and Matt Roy on the assists at 19:17 of the first period. And you know what that means. It was a Magic McNugget minutes goal.
Yep. Still never ever cashed in on that. I don't think I ever will.
I did once. And it is surprisingly pretty easy.
Oh, I don't doubt that it's easy. It's just like, yeah. And then like,
McNuggets aren't everybody's cup of sauce.
If you had to choose between McNuggets or a McRib, what would you choose?
I actually, it's been like forever and ever because they keep hiding the damn thing. But since I've had a McRib, but the last time I enjoyed it, I actually enjoyed it.
A McRib?
Yeah, I actually liked it.
Really?
Now it was, I'm pretty sure I was in college at the time, so yeah, it was like literally half a lifetime ago. But yeah,
I've never been able to bring myself to do that. Ew. I don't know. There's something about who cares? I just felt like I had to ask because I always see that they always, have these massive posters of it and it doesn't look good in the poster. But I'm like, why do they keep bringing this back? Like, who is ordering this meal? But apparently, people are.
Apparently so.
All right, so Protus got us.
I might have it again before it goes away, but who knows?
Well, it's out there now. So Protus got us big nuggies.
Protus would bring them to bring everybody to their feet and get the last minute goal to make sure everybody at least eats somewhat well tomorrow or the next day. And then in a continued welcome your ass back to the lineup, Jacob Vrana gets his fifth at 16:11 of the second period. And nice to meet you, Hendrix LaPierre, his seventh assist, and Taylor Radish, the secondary assist on that one. A very nice shot, if I do say so, by Der Snake.
Yes.
Which would be the game winner. Turn out to be the game winner. And then 3 minutes later, Connor McMichael at 19:33, yet another magical McNugget minute goal. Although I don't know if they double up on that.
Oh,
Nobody ever answered that.
I
Uh,
oh,
Can you convert the two 6 pieces into like a 20 piece? That'd be nice.
would
That'd
it?
be great.
No. Although I
Oh,
do like the sweet and sour sauce, I will say.
sweet and
I
sour. I wonder why.
yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not. It's not on my crave list. Let's put it that way. But I would eat it over a McRib if I had to.
Okay. Well, all right. Good to know that. Yeah, gun to the head. You'd have something from there.
Yeah, I mean, if it really came down to it, and I had to save the world, and they were like, "It's either McNugs or a McRib. What are you gonna choose?" And I was like, "I would take one for the team and eat those McNugs with the sweet and sour sauce or the hot
Okay.
mustard or whatever." Yeah,
Good to
it
know. Very
if I
good to
had
know.
to.
If you had to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So Martin Fedovari on the primary assist, backed up by Pierre-Luc Dubois, his 18th assist on that goal. And then the Canes would get one back in the middle of the period, spoiling the Charlie Lindgren shutout attempt. Seth Jarvis, his ninth. Sebastian Aho, and Brett Burns.
I
Um,
hate Brett Burns in the
go visit,
Carolina uniform.
go, Brett Burns, go visit a freaking barber already. Um, with the assists on that one, which was a shame because right up until then, wow, we mentioned puking. Whoo
Yeah,
boy. Charlie Lindgren. Wow.
uh,
Man, he put you. I'm not calling you out. Don't want to call you out, but he put you to shame, Mermaid.
yeah, I
Because
did.
he
Holy
played hurt. He played under the weather. He was.
he was he peed during intermission and then had that windmill save, which I didn't even have words for that. It was like, holy shit, how did you do that? Yeah, definitely a winner in the fans' eyes. Didn't know about the puking until the locker room comment was made, but um, God, that save was sick.
Yeah, I thought I saw somebody else call it the tilt the whirl save, and then I heard that he threw up, and I was like, yeah, taking me back to local firemen's carnivals where they had the tilt the whirl ride, and
That's like my favorite ride.
I knew somebody that rode that maybe 5 times too many and ended up
Yeah,
throwing up later because of that after
I could see that.
maybe too much funnel cake or yeah.
It's a great ride, though. Anyways, I thought, yeah, Still to Whirl, I didn't hear. I heard windmill, and if you look at it, that was like the perfect analogy.
Absolutely
Either way,
phenomenal
it was
save by
fucking
him.
badass.
It definitely changed the game,
Yeah.
because Caps were still, if I recall right, it happened in the middle of the second period,
Uh-huh.
and Caps were still, well, they were still clinging to a 1-goal lead at the time, and that definitely would have changed the game because, yeah, Canes were buzzing like they always do.
Ugh,
Um,
the
and
cane.
yeah, one it just goes to show one great save, one unselfish act can turn the whole game around, and that it definitely did. But
Yeah.
I thought for the whole 60 minutes, stop us if you've heard that before. They played great lockdown hockey. Let's see what the numbers say. So Caps ended up giving up the majority of the shots, 25. Um, the worst period was probably the 10th when it was 11th, or the 10th, when it was 11 in the second period. Pardon
Hmm.
me. But only 6 in the first period and only 8 in the third. Um, I really thought Carolina was going to do some sort of a comeback in the third, but between limiting the really bad chances and Charlie doing what Charlie does,
Yeah.
they were absolutely great.
No, they look
Um,
fantastic.
they look
They look
tremendous.
like the Caps.
They look like what we have been coming, what we've come to expect them to
Hmm.
be. Yeah, it's just about everybody was a plus player. There was only one minus player in the Caps. You're not going to believe who that was.
I don't want to talk about it.
Not that he played bad, but yeah, he was still on the ice for 18 minutes, almost more than anybody else, and still did his job. So we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So a 1-2 week for our Caps, and it was a sucky week to start. Not great, but hey, then again, I mean, if they kept on going at the clip they were going, they were probably going to be talked about as President's Trophy contenders. And as has been said many times, we don't want that thing
All right.
at all. You can have it.
Yeah.
So I'm not that I was glad to see them lose, but this is the time of year where they can absorb losses like that. So
Yes.
fine by me.
Yeah. We're okay to let that one go.
Yeah. So what do you think of the game overall?
I thought it was the best of the three.
Well, yeah.
And I like to see Jake scoring.
2 points out of 3 games. Yeah, not bad. Pretty statement for a guy that had sat for quite a while.
Right.
So
good for him.
and he earned the gold chain at the end of this game.
He did. I like it. I've always liked him, and he hit a rough patch, and he's coming back, and good for him. That's all we can do is celebrate the wins and hope it continues.
Absolutely. So great way to end the week. I hope this proved to the doubters, okay, sky isn't falling. Okay, team isn't going to
Coach
fall
doesn't
into
need to be fired.
yeah, no. Who the hell would be saying that?
Idiots.
Team isn't falling into a vortex. The first 27 games weren't a fluke.
Right, right.
Jeez. Nonsense like that. But yeah, I just hope. Okay, does that make everybody feel better? I hope. I sure hope it does. So, all right, real quick, let's get the previews of coming attractions out of the way. Actually, as we speak, it is 1:30 p.m. Eastern time here in these United States, and so in about 3.5 hours, Caps will be facing off against the LA Kings. Team quietly having a pretty good year, so this ought to be an interesting game. Matt Roy facing off against his old team.
Yep.
And then 26 hours after that, at 7 on Monday, they face off against the Boston Bruins in Boston.
Arf.
And then it's the holiday break. And then they face off again in Toronto against the Leafs. 7 o'clock puck drop for that. And then another 24 hours later again, not even, it's like 22 hours of another 5 o'clock Sunday game. Somebody loves making these guys play on matinees on Sundays. I don't know, maybe because it rhymes. Who knows? It's the Detroit Red Wings up
What
at Little
rhymes?
matinees on Sundays.
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear that. Okay.
Yeah. So 5 o'clock game, December the 29th against Detroit in the Little Caesars Arena. And maybe, ironically enough, I've got the TV on in the background and just looked up and there's a commercial for Domino's. So hopefully everybody's hungry for pizzas. You're welcome, even though I'm getting no pay for this ad. Oh, that reminds me. Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Crickets.
Nobody.
Yeah. Crickets.
Yeah. So there's that game on the 29th, and then to end the year, the usual another matinee game, 12:30, New Year's Eve, Boston again. This time back home at Cap One Arena. So Ratface comes to town, and yeah. But we seem to do well against Boston at home, so I'm not too worried about that one.
Hmm.
So. All right, and that will end 2024, and we'll pick it up next week. Now, the LA game, as I said, will not be covered until then. Ditto for the Detroit game the week after. So it's the LA, Boston, and Toronto games we will be covering next week. And then that will be the last show of 2024 for us. So, all right.
This will be my last show.
Well, this is your last because you will again be not servicing us next week.
No.
So
I'll be at the beach.
And I'll be a son of a beach.
Yes.
Not because I'll be cursing either. But yeah, so have a nice time.
Thank you.
He said, not trying to sound jealous.
My happy place.
Mm-hmm. Get
It's
some
cold, but that's okay.
Rest and relaxation.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
Very true. All right. So there's that. Okay, we got some time for a couple of things here. Real quick, want to do a quick story, and I think you might get a kick out of this, Anna, because it involves teaching, sort of.
Okay.
Okay, so let me take you back to the 1981-82 season when an 8-year-old blue liner was taken by yet another game, thanks to discount tickets for Army and DoD employees. Which my dad had just was I don't know if he was either a year away from retiring from the Army or it switched to the DoD by then. But either way, it was another discounted game. I forget who they were playing. I wish I could remember who they were playing. I do remember that there were 2 things about this game. No, 3 things about this game. There were a hell of a lot of penalties in it. It was refereed by one Greg Medill, and my father had a discussion with Mr. Medill after the game.
Mm.
Yeah, so there were quite a few penalties, and I think the vast majority, in fact, I'm pretty sure the vast majority of the penalties were called against the Caps this game. And I wish to heck I could remember, but I'm sure it did not favor the Caps on the scoreboard either. Well, our seats weren't too high up, and they were also conveniently near an aisle. So my father, after the game, after the final whistle in the 3rd period, took it upon himself to go to, the railing near the aisle and stood there and waited for Mr. Medill and crew to skate off and exit the ice and head towards the locker room. And as you can imagine, and I'm pretty sure I blacked out. It was one of you appropriately enough, The Christmas Story, that movie with Peter Billingsley.
Yes.
Holiday tradition. The scene where the dad, Darren McGavin is the dad, the furnace blows up and he goes down and there's smoke everywhere and he's laying out a long string of curse words.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I think my dad would have given this dad a run for his money.
That's hilarious.
And I'm pretty sure, I remember maybe 3/4 of them. I must have blacked out, but my jaw just dropped. And
all
the other fans who hadn't left yet, they were all egging him on. They were cheering him on. They were screaming, yelling. And the last thing I remember he said at the very end of all that was, "Medill, you're the worst referee I've ever seen. I'll never forget it as long as I live." And he just had his head down and he just skated off like nothing. Everything, his shit don't stink. Everything just was fine. Everything was beautiful. And he just skated off like nothing. And come to find out, I did some research. Greg Medill was consistently rated one of the worst referees in the league
Oh
uh,
shit.
in his short time. I think he was only a ref for like 5 or 6 years, and then he eventually got fired because he was so awful.
So
Uh,
funny.
yeah, that's hilarious. So it turned out my dad was 110% accurate. Um, but so again, 8-year-old me, it being such a memorable experience. In school, I want to say about 2 weeks later, we were assigned to write a theme. Again, I swear I'm not stealing from a Christmas story. It sounds like I am, but we were asked to write a paper about an experience we had. Um, and stupid 8-year-old me decided, okay, at this time that I went to this game and saw this debacle and heard my dad, verbally assault somebody, and I did not know. Let's see, let's just say this. I had no concept of, how do I put this, how to censor myself.
Oh.
Yeah. So I wrote down I didn't write down the swear bubble like you see in the old cartoons. Oh
Mhm.
no, I wrote down all of the words I heard.
Oh
F
god.
S A F and no dash either. Okay?
That
The
is
whole
awesome.
all of it. And this was back in the time where most parents they checked your homework, or at least it was for me. Um so I showed it to my dad. And he's reading it, he's reading it, he's reading it, and he gets to the end where I added the colorful metaphors, and he's like, "Son, now I get that you were going for truth here, but you probably shouldn't have added all this. I don't think your teacher would like it." And I'm like, "But this is what happened. I want to tell the truth." No, you can't do this. And then to make his point, and I think that this might have been what the beginnings of how I got my nickname. He took a gigantic blue magic marker and crossed out all of the bad words,
Oh.
and he made me rewrite everything from start to finish and said, "Look, everything I crossed out, you do not put back in, but you're going to write this all over again without this stuff." But he did leave in the Medill, the worst referee. You're the worst referee I've ever seen. He did leave that in.
That's
He
awesome.
left that in, and I could, as he walked. I swear I might be creatively imagining this, but I swear as he walked away, I looked over at him and he was kind of chuckling to himself a little bit, maybe
That's
a-
awesome.
after he marked up the paper. But so yeah, that's how that ended, and yeah, that was my first taste, Young Blueliner's first taste into how referees can be really really bad at their jobs and adversely affect. Yeah,
That's a great story.
yeah. So yeah, that yeah. That's one of my favorites. So there'll be more like that as we go on this 50th anniversary season. But yeah, that's actually one of my favorites.
I love it. That was a good one.
Yeah, thank you very much. So going to transition to our final segment. I want to say something here. I want to add something here. Before we went on an hour or so ago, I checked the Facebook page as I do often, um, because I'm one of the admins, and I saw something there that made me really 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 proud. Um, it started with a post by Audie Wood, who is one of our newer members. He's actually a transplant. Used to live in Idaho and Nashville. Now
Mhm.
he lives in Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Um, and he runs a company called life literacy education. I'm gonna text you the info. You'd love this, Anna. It's
Cool.
great. Yeah. Long story short, it's educators, teachers, professionals who are dedicated to guide um, young students, middle school students and beyond, how to manage finances, how to apply for college education, and deal with financial management, and all of that. So, long story short, not to get too
Hmm.
detailed into that, I'll let him tell the whole story when we finally get him on, hopefully in the coming months.
Yeah.
Um, but he started with a post that said, "Hey, look, I just want to say I don't." I didn't much care for the Kemper hate in light of today's game against the Kings. Not that Kemper's starting because he played last night, but I didn't much care for the Kemper hate. But I do want to say that I just want to thank everybody here. I want to thank Gil for providing a forum where everybody here can discuss something like that and not inject hate. They go by facts. They're passionate, but we can have a civil discourse and a discussion about the team that we all love, and it doesn't have to descend into ridiculousness and name calling and vitriol. And Willem Bagus, who, let's just say, did not care for Kemper's play at all while he was
Hmm.
here, basically said, okay, agree to disagree, but definitely agree on the forum that's been provided here, that Gil and everybody's provided here. Not that I like to, rest in peace, Ricky Henderson, put myself in the third person. But I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that's it. That's why we're here. That's so damn great. And so I just want to thank them publicly. I want to thank everybody publicly who helps make that, not just Audie and Willem, of course, who help us provide a safe space. Doug Lucerarian, Tony Olcott, just some names that are coming to the top of my head that are great. Tim Abel, who's new. A lot of new, and you know what? It's helped us attract a lot of new fans to the page. Not new Caps fans necessarily, but we've had like 5-6 people join our page. So they're seeing what we're doing and they want to be a part of us. So I just want to say, thanks to our Hard Rock Cafe mentality, we love all, serve all. If you're a Caps fan, come join us. Come be a part of the discussion. And better yet, come on the show. Anna and I will welcome you with open arms. We love hearing from everybody,
Hmm.
no matter where you're coming from. And it's I gotta say, I go on Twitter a lot for my research, and I notice a lot of other teams' fan bases. They go after other teams, but they go after themselves too. I never
Right.
ever see any of that from Caps fans.
No.
Never.
No.
Just about
Mm-mm.
every Caps fan, in regardless of the forum, all the discussion, intelligence, passion, they back everything up with facts. They know what they're talking about. And when there's a disagreement, it's always, well, okay, I'm not going to go along with that, but I'm not going to call you a effing S-head either. Okay, so there's none of that. It's always 100% civil. And, if we can be a small part of that here at the Power Play Point podcast, thank you for helping us out with that. So I just wanted to put that out there real quick.
Oh, we
And
got the best of the
mention that.
best.
Yeah, I think we are, if not the best, then at least one of the best fan bases out there. And you guys listening, help us with that. Help make us that. And I'm not just talking about this podcast. And it's something else. If you're not, if we're not your cup of tea, then fine. There's a lot of other great Caps fan podcasts out there. Janaea Talks Caps, that's one. The official Caps Chirp podcast, that's one. I haven't mentioned that before, but I want to put that out there. That's a pretty good one. I've listened to that a few times. That's a great one. Dan Holmes, Locked On Caps, who's on every day. That's a good one. Sucrom's Off the Chain podcast. If you want things a little more off the rails, you want things a little crazier, that's your taste. Trust me, I'm a regular on that one. And yeah, we do go off the chain. It's called that for a reason. Sports on the Hill podcast. So there's a lot of good ones out there. Japers Rink, I think, has one. And Sammy Silver is actually coming out with her own here in a few weeks. So yeah, be sure and catch that. The great writer, the Caps beat writer for the Hockey News. So just wanted to plug all my brothers and sisters of the virtual microphone. All right, so let's segue into our last segment real quick here. And okay, we're going to put the mermaid, the teacher, on the spot here. This is Beninati or Nice. Yes, it is finally here now that it's the Christmas season. Okay, so how this McGilly is going to work is I am going to give the name of a Caps player, and the mermaid is going to rate said player as, well, nice. That being, if we've heard their name, they're doing all right, they're doing what they're supposed to do on the ice, or they're Beninati, as in Joe Beninati hasn't said their name a whole lot because they haven't been playing all that great and other reasons.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into that. So we're going to start off with an easy one. Alternate captain Tom Wilson.
Nice.
Okay, and why? And not just because he's who he is. Yeah.
Why? Oh my goodness. Okay, because I really think that he has matured as a player. We are seeing him take on a leadership role. He took a puck to the fucking face and still came out and won, scored twice. I mean, come on. But I do think that the pain train is still there. But he's stepping into more of a leadership role, and I admire that.
More than good enough for me. All right. So, okay, next up, trying to think of one maybe a little bit harder. Alex Alexeyev.
Oh, gosh, I'm gonna have to go Beninati because I don't see him as much as I want to. Is that allowed?
Yeah, it definitely is. And
I mean, I like him when he's on the roster. When he's not a healthy scratch. I love him. I think he's going to be another one of those. How we were sort of like with McMichael, like he's going to come into his own and show us all his badass skills consistently. But we just don't see him enough. So is that considered a Beninati?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would agree. I would definitely agree. I don't want to be down on the guy, but
No.
if he wants to crack the lineup, then he's got to finally start doing more. He's had at least a couple seasons to get there, and he's got to
do something.
Got to do something. So yeah, I got to go with you there. All right, let's go with another defenseman.
Okay.
Trevor Van Riemsdyk.
Oh, God, I knew you were going to say this one. You know what? I'm going Beninati.
Oh, really?
I am. I know there was an assist recently, and I've always been a TVR fan. But again, like him and Matt Roy, I guess I am not hearing Beninati speak about them as much. But I can't say that it's because he's bad or doing bad. This is hard. Let's go back to Tom.
So in one sense, he's not doing so much to make the commentary list, but he's not bad enough
that he shouldn't be there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
it's a little kind of a half-ass response, and I apologize, but when it comes to TVR, I was like, I felt like I heard more of the TVR. Uh, oh, I don't want to say
Last year?
last season, but yeah, not that
Yeah.
not that he's doing terrible this year, but I don't hear it as often. So if we're going off of a Joe Beninati talk, then I'm going to go with the Beninati.
Okay. All right. Next up, we'll switch to forward. All right. Let's say. All right. I got a tougher one. But I'll probably do an easy one here. Dylan Strome.
Oh, come on. Um, nice, nice, nice.
Mhm.
I mean,
I kind of
for so
figured.
many reasons, right? He's been fantastic. He's been consistent. He's been a badass, and I have been very happy with him this year. I was before, but I'm just saying if we're just talking about this season, very, very been a happy.
Good one. All right. Now a bit of a tougher one. Hendrix Lapierre.
Mm.
Okay, so I will give you the benefit of the doubt, or the
Yes,
benefit of being a teacher here.
yes.
Um, uh, uh, and I'm an ex-teacher, and sometimes as a teacher, you can mark an assignment a certain way if they're not, if it's not finished, if you know what I mean. So
Okay,
I will give you that option if you want to exercise it.
okay. I'm gonna go with nice, and
For
here's why.
Hendricks,
Yes,
okay.
because if we're gonna go along with like what you just said, I think that he is coming into his own. I think that he is putting effort out there. Um, maybe not consistently, but I still think he's young, and I think he has a ton of potential. So, so is that a?
I'll go with that. I will go with that.
I'll
But
stick just because again, not if he's not in the lineup every time, it's hard to say. But when he is there, I don't think he's. Now I feel like I'm doubting myself.
well, I
You would
mean,
have
if
gone Beninati.
you can change, you can change your grade if you want, but your first, it sounds like your first instinct is nice.
Yeah,
You want to stick with that?
I think so.
Okay. Okay.
I just
Well, he actually had a decent week. I think the fact that he was originally going to be scratched, um, and then Lars
and then
Eller got sick,
right.
and then
I
he
think
got
that's what it like.
unscratched.
Came in and I haven't been pissed, like frustrated with them, but I also do think that it's hard to choose the Beninati and Nice if they're not, you know, consistently playing, because it's like, has he earned his spot?
Yeah,
Mm,
true,
you know what I
true,
mean?
and that's why I mentioned the incomplete option.
Yes.
Um, if you wanted to go that route, but you're saying what you have seen, you've liked for the most
Yes,
part.
because I would think that we've all seen potential in this kid, and I think moving forward, he's just going to get better.
All right, I do I actually agree with you. I think
Cool.
it's taking a while. It's taking a lot
Yeah,
longer than all of us have are hoping, but I
but
think he
didn't we
does
all
have a
have that
future.
same feeling with McMichael?
Yes, very true.
Okay, so
We
that's
did.
kind of the route I'm going with some of the players.
Okay.
Like I feel like we were. It did take a while for McMichael to come into where he is right now, and whether that was him getting married, him having a kid, him just, realizing that like do something or I'm out. um, but it's happened and it's consistent and he's awesome where he's at right now. I feel like, LaPierre is and Alexiev are both kind of that like I want to see more. I know it's there, but it's not, we don't see them consistently in the lineup, so it's not fair to judge um when, if they were there every night not doing anything or they were there every night and doing something.
Okay. I get that. So, all right, just to let you know, when C4 was on last week,
Mhm.
this was one of the two test options. When we tested the game, she gave um, Hendricks a Beninati.
Oh, okay.
So,
Because she wants to see
um,
more.
yeah, yeah.
I get that.
She's of the opinion that we haven't quite seen enough and heard enough, for him to be, so a regular, and only because, like you said, he's got more there, but it just hasn't been enough,
Right.
even when he has been in the lineup. So just as something of a contrast, but yeah, I think you both are on pretty much the same track.
Mhm.
Okay, great. I think we will end it with that one. And if I can remember, next year we might roll that out next year because I'm sure we'll have at least maybe one or two new faces by this time next year. Um, so yeah.
Sweet.
Um, okay. All right. So I mentioned a few names. Before I want to see if I can this holiday season I want to throw some other names out there. Ginny Clausen, um, Beth Tiller, who just joined us. I hope you're listening. I think I mentioned Tim Abel. Um, I mentioned Will. This always happens to me.
Jamal
I
Jennings.
go Jamal Jennings. Oh God, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Jamal. My God, he's our unofficial hype man. Always
Yeah.
keeps us going,
Very
and
awesome to see his posts every day.
very, very, very awesome to see him post just about every day. He's always there. I saw him in one of the NHL groups, and I asked him, "Hey, I like what you do here. You want to? I see you're a Caps fan. Want to give us a try?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." And I really think I'm hoping he's found a home with us. So yeah, that's great. Um, God, I'm blanking. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anybody. Paul Hackett always as always.
Mhm.
C4 I mentioned. Um, Sandy Diane Doyle, Sandy Steinberg, Diane Doyle, of course, who always comes up with the great name memes. Stacy Cleek, Tony Stallard from the Caps Army Room,
Yep.
um, with some great comments every now and again. Gosh, I'm trying to go through and see Patrick and Laura Kirchner, of course. Patrick with the golden voice. And always with the great comments every now and then, especially when he's attending a game in the chat room. Marcus Lemley, host of the Sucrums chain off the chain podcast, as I mentioned. And if I'm forgetting you, I'm sorry. It's not on purpose. I'm kind of scuttling through and seeing Peg Miller, TJ Hollums, sometimes on the Jeff Oliver from the Caps fans room
Mhm.
visits. Wayne Burnett, also from that room, um, also pops in every now and then. So want to thank them as well. So um, as we sign off, I just want to quote a famous fellow Marylander uh, this Christmas holiday. God bless y'all real good. Louis Goldstein, former controller of Maryland. God bless y'all real good this holiday season. I hope you have a great Christmas. Or if you're lighting the menorah, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa if you celebrate. And hope you just have a great and safe holiday season. So from all of us here at the Triple P, thank you for listening. And just one final holiday reminder. Well, maybe not one, because you picked 3 before we got in the air.
Oh, crap. That was a loaded. Okay.
So the old Blue Liner is going to remind you that, well, when sheep wish each other a Merry Christmas, what do they say to each other? Feliz Navidad.
Okay, what's number
And
2?
every parent's favorite Christmas song, Silent Night.
Truth.
And the elves at the North Pole. They work so hard to make sure all the presents get done. What do these little guys get paid in? Jingle bills.
All right.
Once, twice, 3 times you hate me.
No hate, just eye rolls. It's all good. It's all good. But yes, please, everyone out there, have a happy, healthy holiday, however you celebrate. And I will look forward to talking to everybody in 2025.
And for this holiday season, hallelujah and let's go Caps.
Go Caps.
This has been another episode of the Power Play Point Podcast. All episodes are available from Apple Podcasts, the Podbean app, blueliner77.podbean.com, and now available from Stitcher. Music by Joe McAllister, voiceover by Jeffrey Conkle.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Power Play Point Podcast. Thanks for listening.